Guys, so on this particular video we'll be discussing about Leh Ladakh in the month of October 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the landscape, what you need to be packing for your trip, the pros of traveling to Leh Ladakh in October, what is the budget that you need to have in mind, and most of all, is it a good time to be going to Leh Ladakh in the month of October. Now, when you are planning a trip to Ladakh in the month of October, keep in mind that it is the start of winter, so the daytime temperature will range from anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees, and the temperature in places near Nubra Valley, Pangong, and even near Somoriri is going to be much colder, where the daytime temperature will range from anywhere between 6 to 12 degrees. So it's going to be a cold day and a even colder night. The night temperature is when the mercury will drop to below freezing point, so you can expect the temperature to be anywhere between, I would say, minus 12 to 0 degrees. If you can get a night which is 0 degrees, it's like a miracle. You should be really happy, but it is mostly going to be in minus. So when you're planning your accommodation, just make sure you're booking places which have heaters, especially in Leh, because that's where you need to acclimatize. If you are someone who's hardcore and rugged and is used to the Himalayan cold, then you can go with the normal basic homestay without any heating and just make do with your sleeping bag and extra blankets. If you are the kind who feels really cold, the month of October is not the time to be going there, because it's going to be seriously cold and windy at the same time. And when I'm saying cold, you cannot compare that to cold in the mainland city, because the weather that we face in the lower parts of India compared to what you face in the Himalayas, especially in Ladakh, is extreme. Now, when it comes to snow, you can expect a snowfall along the places like Kardungla, Changla Pass, Zojila, and even along the Manali-Leh highway. And in fact, even in places like Leh, it might snow if the weather goes bad, and you can be prepared, and you should be prepared rather, for snow throughout. If you do not get snow, be happy, because you'll get to visit most of the places. If you do get snow, you will get only snow. You might not get to go to Pangong or Nubra Valley because the roads end up getting shut. So now this is regarding the weather. Now when it comes to the road accessibility, the best way to reach Leh in the month of October personally is to take a flight from Delhi, Chandigarh or Srinagar straight to Leh. That's the best way to get there, because that's hassle free considering the weather conditions that has prevailed in the month of August and September in Himachal and in Jammu and Kashmir. Because if there's any kind of late rain shower or landslides or rocks falling, you'll end up losing out on a day or two, being stuck in a roadblock, and panic for yourself and your family back at home. So if you haven't booked your trip and you are still confused about how to get there, just book a flight and get there, because that's the most sensible way to get to Leh Ladakh in the current situation in the month of October. Now, when it comes to the Manali-Leh highway, there are talks and there are social media posts saying that the road is under construction and they are restoring it and all of that. That's very good, and the road should get restored by October. But again, at the same time, it's not going to be 100%. There are definitely going to be a couple of delays along the way, and these delays can last from, say, maybe 15 minutes to a few hours, and it can even stretch on for a day or two, depending on how bad the road condition gets along the way. Because whatever they are doing with fixing the road is a makeshift fix. It's not a complete fix, because that's not going to be possible in the month of October, because it's too late and too much. It's a very short time frame, to be honest, for them to be able to fix everything and get everything ready by October. The earliest you can expect the Manali-Leh highway to be fixed is by next season, because that's where they have enough time to go and fix it by working through the winter. The Srinagar road via Jozila is also in a bad condition because of flash floods. So you can expect a similar situation along the Srinagar road, where you'll have at least 2 or 3 roadblocks along the way, basically because there are rocks falling or there's blasting happening or they're doing the work up, depending on what the situation is when you are traveling. So if you want to save your time, and you really care about your life, and you realize that there's no point in saving money and wasting time, then you book your flights and go to Leh. Book and get a good deal now, because it's still pretty much a month or so for October. Now, when it comes to the overall condition in Leh, the road accessibility, you'll get to travel everywhere in Leh in the month of October. You'll get to go to Nubra Valley, and you'll even get to go all the way to Turtuk and at the same time you can even go all the way till, I would say, Pangong. You can go to Somoriri. Everything will be open, barring the fact that if it snows anytime in Leh, you might have challenges going to these places, but that's if it snows. And remember, if it does snow, you can always alter your plan and maybe go to Alchi, Lama Yuru, which is going to be accessible. Now, the best way to plan your trip is to acclimatize for a couple of days and then head to, I would say, go to Pangong first and then go to Nubra Valley, because by default Nubra Valley will be accessible because it's a inhabited place, and at the same time Pangong becomes slightly tricky once it starts snowing. So try to get Pangong off your bucket list first, so that by default you have reached there. If you plan on going to Hanle and Somoriri, you can keep that for the latter half of your trip, because it's very unlikely that Hanle and Somoriri will get blocked in the month of October, because you got to just pass I would say Tanglangla, which is not at all a challenge in the whole month of October. Tanglangla, sorry, will definitely be accessible. Now, when it comes to the budgeting, it depends entirely on the number of days that you're planning and the kind of luxuries that you want on your trip. If you're looking for a room with heaters, then you can expect to pay anywhere between, I would say, for a room, anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 per night. If you can get a better deal, very good. For a basic homestay without any heating, it will cost you anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000, depending on various factors. Now, when it comes to transport, that's costly in Leh Ladakh, and again, it depends on the kind of vehicle you're going with. If you're going for a really budget trip, then you can take a eco, but it's not really recommended in the month of October. The most affordable SUV that you'll get is an Ertiga, which is a good option if you're a small group of 4 to 5 people. If you want a more comfortable experience, then you can go for a Innova Krista. All these vehicles are easily available in Leh, and you can book them directly once you get there if you want. Now, when it comes to the clothing, you need to have really good winter clothing. You need to have jackets which can withstand temperature in minus. You need to have a very good lightweight sleeping bag. A sleeping bag will come really handy, otherwise you're going to have trouble sleeping. Your bones are going to hurt. You need to have thermal innerwear. You need to have your sunglasses with a UV protective. Do not get cheap ones just because you're going on a holiday. Get good UV protected sunglasses. Get your lip balm, because otherwise your lips are going to chap and crack and bleed. Get a good thermos water bottle so that you can have hot water throughout the night, and in case you fall sick, run to the nearest medical center, because you do not want to fall sick in Leh Ladakh. When it comes to this footwear, you need to have very good shoes with good grip. Do not go with your casual gym shoes which are torn and worn out, because that's going to really be complicated for you and for your group if your shoes tear. Now, when it comes to having a bath, my personal recommendation is do not have a bath every day in Ladakh in the month of October. You can, if you're going there for 5 to 7 days, have a bath max 2 days. The first day do not have a bath. The second day you can, but just make sure that you're having a shower when the sun is out in the daytime. Do not have a bath after sunset. And for all those who like having a bath twice a day, this is not the place and not the month or the weather conditions to have a bath twice in a day. Just have a bath once a day. If you can stay your entire trip without having a bath, that's better. The reason I'm saying all this is because having a bath is the main reason why people end up falling sick in Leh Ladakh, and that's when panic sets in and your entire experience, it goes from sky high to maybe 6 feet below when you're thinking you might die. Now, for all those who are considering a trip to Leh Ladakh and are confused how to go about it, we do have trips happening to Leh Ladakh in October. You can click on the link in the description and you'll get all the details related to our trip. You can directly book via our website, or you can ping our team on WhatsApp from our website, and our sales team will guide you through the booking process. But do not bother to inquire about your own personal queries for Leh Ladakh for a trip you're planning on your own in the month of October. Our sales team is not interested in answering those personal queries of yours. For that, you can book a consultation with us, which is a paid service. Or if you feel your query is relatively easy to answer on YouTube comments, you can leave a comment and our team will be more than happy to reply to your comment. Now, when it comes to the budgeting for a trip to Leh Ladakh for a week in the month of October, it entirely depends on the number of people. More the people, the more cost efficient your trip will be. If you're going in a group of 2 or 3, you can expect to plan your trip with a budget of minimum, I would say, 40 to 50,000 per person, which would include your flights and your travel, your stay and your permits. Now, remember, to travel around Leh, you need to do an inner line permit, which can be done only online. For that,